Hey everybody, so today I am here to share with you guys what is on our baby registry the third time around and why those things are on there. You guys were super interested in this video over on Instagram and I'm very excited to bring it to you guys. I just feel like registering is one of those things that is just super fun to me. I don't know if I'm alone in that, but for myself at least, I really love doing it. We created an Amazon and also a Target registry for ourselves so that way when we're buying stuff towards the end, we can get the completion coupons and use them on that purchase. So even if you don't plan on having a baby shower, you don't plan on people buying you gifts, if you are even just gonna buy diapers and wipes, that kind of thing, I would highly recommend that you make some kind of registry. I would say now at this point, since I've done it 3 different times, I would say I would probably recommend Target for most people. However, I know that my Canadian friends no longer have Target, so for that reason I would definitely say Amazon. It's super easy and user-friendly too, but the completion coupon at Target encompasses a ton more than it does on Amazon. On Amazon, it has to fit in like that baby category. You know, you can't just like throw a pack of socks on your registry that's like adult size and get the completion coupon to go towards it. However, at Target you could. You know, I've been told that you can use it on snacks, clothes, like literally whatever. There is a little list of limitations, so I'll put that right there for the Target coupon. But honestly, besides those things, you can pretty much, from what I've been told, you can put whatever you want on there, check out, and it'll go towards those items. So I'm going to stay over to one side of the camera this video so I can put in a screen recording for you guys and just kind of go down along the list with you. So let's go ahead and start this screen recording. Like I said, most of our stuff is over on Amazon, so that's where I'm going to start. But as you can see, this is what my registry looks like. So the first thing right here, I have a humidifier. Our humidifier just broke and I would get the same brand, but it was really hard to clean. So for that reason, I wanted something that was a little bit easier, and over on Instagram, you guys by far and away recommended Vicks the most. I don't know why I didn't go with it in the first place, because I remember growing up, that's the only humidifiers that we had was the Vicks brand. So I have the vapor pads and I also have a humidifier on here, but I actually need to add another one because I want to have one for the girls' room and also one for all 3 of us in our bedroom. If you didn't know, my 2 oldest daughters, Sophie, who's 4.5, and Remy, who's 3, they share a room, and then Lexi, our expected arrival, will be sharing a room with us for probably at least 9 months. So underneath that, we have this Vava nightlight, and I put this on here because I've heard so many great things. I feel like really you can't watch any YouTube video for, you know, some kind of breastfeeding essentials without somebody mentioning this nightlight and how great it is. I've just heard super good things, and it looks like it has good ratings on Amazon as well, but I need a nightlight this time around. With Remy, I was just using my bedside table lamp, which of course works, but at the same time, she would get really aggravated at the amount of light that it puts out because it would put out a fair amount. So for that reason, I just want to get a little nightlight for my stand, so when I'm pumping or feeding, it doesn't need to light up the entire room. It can just let me see what I'm doing, basically. And then we have the Medela breast shields and then the Medela soothing gel pads. So with the breast shields, these are actually a newer product, or at least new to me, since I weaned like, I don't know, at least 1.5 years ago now. But for me, these are a new product and I really want to try them out. Lancino has similar breast shields that come with their pumps. However, their sizes don't fit me. So I'm really excited to try this in a size that is probably going to fit me. Now, I'm saying that as someone who has exclusively pumped 2 times before. I generally eventually get to the 21mm size. It's good to size your flange whenever you give birth, and then maybe like a couple weeks after, and then a few weeks after that, you'll notice that it's probably going to fluctuate a little bit because of all that swelling. But the gel pads, I actually had the Lancino ones, the Lancino, what were they called? Soothies, I think. I love those. They were amazing with Remy. I actually had like 2 different packages put on my registry for them, but they like disappeared off of Amazon. Like, I don't know if there's going to be a newer version or if they're just done with them or what's going on really, but I could not find them anywhere on Amazon. If they do come back with like a newer version, I'll try those, but for now, just in case they don't come out with anything, I did put these Medela ones on there because I'm hoping they do the same thing. Basically, these things are like jelly kind of pads that do have a fabric side to them, so it's not like touching your bra and picking up everything in your bra. But these are great because if you stick them in the fridge, put them on your nipples postpartum, it feels amazing. So, so good. I loved the Lancino ones. I'm hoping these Medela ones work out just as nicely. And then we have this Kinza smart thermometer, and I put this on here because we needed a new rectal thermometer. I have no idea where ours went from Remy and Sophie, but I asked you guys over on Instagram for suggestions, and a lot of you recommended this one, and I really like it because it will log it on your phone. Now, I don't really take baby's temperature a lot when they're this little. However, if I'm doing it, and if I'm doing it consistently, it's because baby's sick, and for that reason I really like the log aspect of it. That way I can keep track. If we go to the doctors, I can just let them look through the temperatures and it's all squared away. It's not like something I need to write down and keep track of, so I really like that aspect of it. We already have a temporal artery thermometer that I love. Our pediatricians have used, and it's awesome, but it's, I think for the first 6 months, they recommend that you take baby's temperature rectally because it's the most accurate, so that's what I do. And I already have covers, so I did not register for the covers for the thermometers, but if you are getting a rectal thermometer, I would highly recommend that. You can pick those up at like Walmart, but it just makes cleanup a ton easier. And then we have some boogie wipes. Now these could also be for my oldest kids as well, but Lexi is going to be born literally 1 week before the girls start preschool, and I'm hoping that this year is a little bit different than last year, but last year we were constantly sick with the preschool germs, just constantly. So I'm really hoping that it's different this year, or at the very least Lexi doesn't catch every single thing that's brought home. However, I want to be prepared in the event that it happens anyways. We already have a nose Frida, and if nothing else, if Lexi is perfectly fine and doesn't ever catch anything, amazing. I know her older sisters will use these. And then right underneath that, we have this diaper caddy, or a nursery organizer, and I got this actually for the side of our pack and play. Now we are getting a new pack and play, I'll get to that later, but even if we kept the one that we have now, the storage on it is not great. I wanted something that was right there for in the middle of the night when we're changing her, if there's a mess, you know what I'm talking about. So for that reason, I wanted something that would just hang on the side, and this thing looked like it offered exactly what I wanted it to do. Now, the pack and play does have enough storage for diapers and wipes. I'm not really worried about that, but this one looks like it could definitely handle a lot, and it was wide enough that I felt like, okay, yeah, I could fit a 3-month sleeper in there, that kind of thing. So that's why that's on there. And then we have some Medela breast milk storage bags. Now these were one of my favorites last time around. These, the Lancino ones. I went with the Medela ones because they are a bit more sturdy in my opinion, and in those very early days when I'm bagging colostrum and that transition milk, I just want to make sure that it's not going to leak or anything like that, and those Medela bags are super, super tough. So I've got quite a few of those on there, and you guys can't see it because they are privated. You can set certain things to private on your registry, so if like you want to buy it and you're not worried about anybody else doing it, you can set it to private. But I have a lot of other breast milk storage bags on there as well that I have on there that I'm going to buy myself to do a review for you guys. So there will be a part 3, which I feel is very fitting because I've done a breast milk storage bag with every single kid, and that's just kind of cool to me. But anyways, the next thing is this Air Organics diaper balm. If you guys have been around for a while, you know that this was the only thing that worked on Remy's eczema when she had it in her diaper region. Oh my gosh, we went through so many different things to find what will work for her, and now fortunately as a toddler. She doesn't have it in her diaper region anymore, but this stuff is awesome. Even if your kid doesn't have eczema, I mean, I'm not assuming that Lexi's gonna have it. I just put it on there because I know if it works on really hard to treat eczema, I have confidence in it to do whatever else I might need it to do. So I have a couple of those on there, and then the Maddie's All Natural Baby Chest Rub. Again, just prepping in case we hit any germs, but this one is actually good for younger kids as well. And then the next thing are these Boone silicone pouch bottles. Now, these looked really awesome to me because they kind of reminded me of a more, you know, eco-friendly version of the Playtex drop-ins. Is that what they were called? With the little plastic pouches. I just have a lot of memories about my sister using those bottles, but this seemed a little bit nicer because it's a silicone pouch, not a plastic one, so you don't have to worry about those chemicals, which was pretty cool. And I feel like I've seen quite a few people use these bottles and they seem to work really nicely. So I'm really anxious and excited to try these out because I am going to be doing a non-plastic baby bottle review again. So it's going to be silicone, I think glass, I can't remember, yes, glass, and you know, whatever else I find in that realm. And then next I have the Munchkin Shine stainless steel bottle brush. I liked this instead of the OXO brand that I typically go with because I thought it's nice that I just have to replace the heads on this, not the entire whole brush. So that kind of looked nice to me. I'm just hoping that I like it enough to stick with it, but if not, I'll go back to the OXO brand. And then I have the Milk Saver on the Go brush shells. I actually passed on my Milky's Milk Saver that I've reviewed here on my channel to a friend when I had weaned, and then I was like, oh, I definitely need another one. But then I saw this one and it comes with two, which I really liked the idea of because I leak a ton in the beginning postpartum. Like if I don't have some kind of tank top or bra or whatever pressed up against me, I immediately start leaking. So for that reason, and just even if you like hit my boob in the slightest, it's like just, it turns on a faucet. So I thought these looked really neat, so I wanted to give these a try, and I thought, you know, I could review them for you guys. It says right now it looks like some things are out of stock, but they always come back in stock. And then the next thing is the Owlet Smart Sock. We went, well, I shouldn't say we, I went back and forth on this a lot. I kept trying to think if it was worth it, if I, you know, wanted to spend the money on this. But through this entire pregnancy, I think it's just become apparent that it is a really good idea. And even if I didn't want to get it, I think Mark would still get it because he really wants it. So for that reason, it's on here, and it is typically around $200 now. It did go down in price ever since they brought out their new baby monitor, video monitor as well. So that's really cool. And those Milk Savers on the Go, those are around, I think, $17, $20, something like that. But the next thing are these monthly baby stickers. I know people love the blankets, but I've done stickers with both my other girls, so I'm just going to stick with stickers for Lexi. And these ones are actually pretty neat because they are watercolor, but they do the whole rainbow. So it's, I think, like side by side, it's going to look really cool. And I really like that Lucy Darling brand. If you haven't looked into it, that's where her baby book is from too, and it's just really, really cute, and I feel like pretty affordable. They have a lot of stuff on Amazon. And then the next thing are the Juvie Cool car seat adapters for our Nuna Pippa car seat. We got the Nuna Pippa with Remy, and I got the Juvie Cool stroller, you know, between pregnancies. That didn't work out, but I have used it with my two older girls, still use it. Love it to death. It is my absolute favorite stroller. It's my dream. So of course I got the car seat adapters so we can use the car seat on the Juvie Cool. So the next thing are these Eco Pacifier Orthodontic Natural Rubber Pacifiers. And I registered for these because I do want to try either silicone or natural rubber this time around for pacifiers. Both the girls in the past have liked Ma'am the best. Remy also took Juvie ones because she wasn't really picky, honestly. She wasn't super attached to the binky like Sophie was, but either way, I'm trying to move into other things that are a little bit better. And I feel like these ones are the most cost efficient when you're looking at natural rubber ones. They can easily be like $10 a piece. So these ones, it's a 3-pack for $20. I feel like is pretty good. And then we have the Juvie Boob Natural Nude Nipples. And you guys know these are my favorite nipples to put on Juvie bottles. And I have those in the size 0. Size 0 for the Juvie bottles are great and exactly what you need if you are going to be nursing along with bottle feeding, because it's so slow. Nothing drips out from a size 0, or at least it shouldn't. So if it does, send it back, you know, get a different set, because it should be doing that. But with stage 0, they're awesome when you are nursing and bottle feeding, which I will be doing in the beginning, but I have the other sizes for when I'm ready to move away from that, and it's not really necessary anymore. But I don't think that you necessarily need to go up in sizes either though. And then right underneath that is the new Juvie Boob Diamond bottles. And these I think are supposed to replace the other glass bottles that they have. I have quite a few of their older glass bottles that I'm still going to use, obviously, but I did want to try these out again for the review. And then I have the Boone drying rack in the size Lawn, which I think is the bigger one, or at least I hope it is, because that's what I wanted. But I decided to get a new one of these because our old one had just been through it. It went through like almost 3.5 years of constant use, because I got it when I had Sophie, and you know, just having one kid right into another and not really taking a break, because I was still putting like Sophie's sippy cups and stuff on it too. It was just ready to be done by the time I stopped using it for all of Remy's stuff too. So for that reason, I'm just gonna get a new one. And then the very last thing is the Lancino Ultimate Protection Disposable Nursing Pads. These are my absolute favorite. There are other Lancino ones that don't have like that purple little square. I don't know what that purple little square does, but it's amazing compared to the other ones. I don't like those ones as much. I'll use those plain white ones if I have to, but these are my preferred ones. And then the only thing that is baby gear on our Target registry is this pack and play right here. So this is actually meant to replace the one that we have right now, but it's also to replace what we would have got, which was the Auto Rock and Play. Obviously, we all know what happened with those. They're recalled, stopped production, pulled off shelves, all of that. However, for our reflux kids, they were absolutely pivotal in getting them to sleep well, sleep soundly, just be comfortable, honestly, sometimes. So for that reason, we went back and forth on a lot of different things to do. However, I noticed with the pack and plays, they do offer some bassinets that do have a pretty good incline on them. Probably not an incline that's as great as the one in the Rock and Plays, but whatever. We have to make it work. So for that reason, we went with this one. I felt like it was the best out of all of them that I could find, and for that reason, we're going to go with it. Also, the pack and play that we have now has been through literally 4.5 years of constant use. So this thing is beat. Besides car seats, I would say our pack and play is literally the thing that we've used most, that we've purchased for the kids, because it's just been in constant use. When we're not using it in our home, it goes in, that's what they sleep in at other people's houses. So for that reason, I have absolutely no hesitations about buying a new one, because I know we're going to get just as much use out of it. But other than that, for the Target registry, I'm just going to put things like diapers, wipes, snacks, maybe, like I said, toiletries and stuff like that that I need for the hospital bag, like literally whatever I can think of that I can't buy from Walmart or Amazon that'll just be cheaper, because sometimes Target can be a tiny bit more expensive. So I don't want to buy a more expensive thing just to get 15% off and make it the same price. So I'm trying to look for things that I can't find at the other places. So that is everything that's on our registry for the third time around. I hope that this was helpful, you know, if you're making your own registry. I know some of the bigger items might be missing, like car seats, strollers, high chairs, cribs, crib mattress, stuff like that. But honestly, we bought all of that stuff with our oldest daughter. We bought it gender neutral, and it doesn't really need replacing. So, you know, when it came to the car seat, we did have to replace that, but only because we were in a wreck, and you have to replace car seats if you are in a car accident. So we did get that replaced by our insurance with Remy, but you know, we're still using essentially the same money paid forward for the car seat. And the crib, it's going to be the crib that all 3 girls have had. It's held up just fine, and it's nothing special. It's not like a $900 crib or anything. It's literally a $200 one we found off of Babies R Us. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them, but I hope you guys enjoy the video, and as always, thanks for watching.